Hey, if this is your first time here, my name is Miles Serrig with Apollo Health Insurance, and here we talk about all things Medicare. Today we want to talk about specifically Medicare Part B and Part D IRMAA adjustments and how selling your home going into retirement or Medicare age can impact your income-related monthly adjustment amount and the fees that you would receive on your Part B and Part D. So just to recap, for most of you, Medicare Part A is going to be completely subsidized by the government if you have worked your 40 quarters. That way you will not have to pay for your Medicare Part A, but then you have Part B Medicare, which is simply just $185. And there is a step up of IRMAA, which you can see in this picture that we're going to post here. And you can see where your income might fall on this bracket. This is going to be based on your MAGI, Modified Adjusted Gross Income. We're going to skip a lot of the income information that's in there, and we're going to get straight into how selling your home can completely impact your Medicare Part B and Part D IRMAAs. So first and foremost, when you're getting into Medicare age, it's really important to know that they're always going to look at your tax return or your MAGI, your Modified Adjusted Gross Income, from 2 years prior. So if you're going into Medicare this year, they're going to look at 2023. If you're going into Medicare next year, they're going to look at 2024. If you're going into Medicare in 2027, they're going to be looking at this year. You want to make sure that you are prepared, that you are not getting the IRMAA or the income-related monthly adjustment amount penalty in the event that you sell your home or as you get onto Medicare. So how does this work? Well, first and foremost, we're going to look at three different types of selling your home. The first thing is going to be a long-term place that you have lived, or maybe you've had it as a rental, but the house has been in your name and you've lived there for at least 2 years in the last 5 years, is going to be important, and that you've had some sort of bank or some way, shape, or form of proving that you've been in that area for the last 2 years. Or maybe you've lived in the home for 30 years and now you're going to sell it, you're downsizing, the kids are off at college, or the kids have grandkids now that you're going to be visiting, and so you decide to sell your primary residence. Well, the good news is that if you are married, you can write up to $500,000 of that capital gains off. So for instance, in this case, let's say that you bought your house for $250,000 20 years ago. And let's say that it comes to today and you decide to sell your home for $850,000. That would be a total gain of $600,000 that would go into your modified adjusted gross income for the year. The good news is that you can actually deduct up to $500,000 off of your taxes of modified adjusted gross income if you have lived in that home or can prove at least 2 years of that being your primary residence, which then only adds $100,000 to your modified adjusted gross income, which in a lot of cases may only bump you up one bracket, maybe two brackets when it comes to your Part D or Part B IRMAA, and not all of the brackets if you were to go ahead and assume all $600,000 of that. Now, if you're single and you've sold your home, you can write up to $250,000 off of your line 11 on your tax return for your capital gains. The second type is that we want to talk about is going to be what would be a vacation home or a rental. Here's where getting into kind of the weeds of this in these details can actually help. I'm going to specifically talk to married individuals or people filing jointly who have a spouse. So if you are getting into retirement, and let's say that you are 2 years away from going on to Medicare and next year you're planning on selling your vacation home, I think it would be important that you guys are preparing long before this, but let's just say that this is the case. So if you're able to prove that this was your primary residence, one way that people do this is that they have some of their spouses, maybe they have a bank account where their vacation home is, maybe they have some of their spouse's mail going to that primary residence, or maybe they have a PO box in the area of that vacation home, that you're able to use that to then show or prove that it was a primary residence. But let's just say that it happens to be a vacation home, you can't prove any of that. You're not going to be able to write off any of those capital gains tax. So what's going to happen is if you had a vacation home that you bought for $300,000, you sold it for $650,000, the entire $350,000 on that vacation home is going to go towards your modified adjusted gross income amount. The third thing, or the third type of home sale that most people run into when heading into retirement, is going to be, let's say that a loved one, mom or dad, passes away, you inherit the home from them passing away, and then you are going to sell that home. Well, the good news is that the government has included what's called a step up. So essentially what happens is, let's say that mom bought the home for $100,000 40 years ago and she passes away, and mom gives you the house inside of the trust or the will, or you inherit it when mom passes away. And let's say that now this home is selling for $400,000. Let's say that mom passed away 2 to 3 months ago. You're getting all the things in order, funeral, things like that. And after 90 days of mom passing away, you decide to sell the home. Well, what's going to happen is the step up is going to look back to the date that she passed, and it's going to say, in this case, that the home cost $390,000. Well, the good news for you is that you're only going to have to put $10,000 on your line 11 for your tax return, which in most cases is not going to impact most people's Part B or Part D IRMAA. So just to recap what we discussed, if you are going on to Medicare soon, again, they are looking at the prior 2 years of your tax return. So if you're going on to Medicare this year, they're going to be looking at 2023. It's always good to plan ahead, but the 3 types of home sales that you need to be aware of is your long-term residence. That's where you can write off the most. You can write up to $500,000 as a joint married couple, or $250,000 as an individual. If you're selling a vacation home, pretty hard to get out of that one, but there are ways around it. I consider consulting a tax professional or your realtor. And the third thing would be that if you have a loved one that passes away, you inherit the home. Remember that step-up clause does happen to where you can actually get your total home value raised, not from the date that you bought it, but from the date that the individual passed away, and you can help lower your line 11 on your modified adjusted gross income tax return. Thanks for watching this video on the Medicare series, and we look forward to helping you here at Apollo Health Insurance.